Welcome back, everyone. In this video today, I am going to be talking about managing your painting production. If you are frustrated by the limitations of different softwares to figure out what jobs do you have in your backlog, who's going to produce those jobs, how far out are you booked, that is what I want to dive into in this video. We're going to be talking about Airtable, and in particular, how you can manage all of your production from the moment the job is won all the way through to invoicing, all inside of Airtable. And specifically, what I want to talk about today is what we call at Boolean the coordinator interface. And this is an interface that you can make for free inside of Airtable. I'll walk you through exactly how we've set it up in our Airtable base, and let's dive into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris with Boolean Automation, where our mission is to free you up to do what you love. We work with painting contractors to eliminate all the mundane, boring tasks and optimize their business operations to make it as streamline as possible. And today we're going to be diving into this Airtable topic, talking about our coordinator interface. And we're going to be looking at how we recommend companies manage their production. So let's dive into our Airtable here. First off, if you're new to Airtable, I just always like to point out that behind this interface that I'm about to show you, we have layers and layers and layers of data. We've got contacts, people, our projects, jobs, and there are dozens and dozens of fields in hundreds, I should say, in these tables. So much data that lives in your painting business. And the reason why I love Airtable so much is because when we're talking about the interface that you and your team uses to interact with your projects, you can choose to selectively show very specific bits of information to different roles. So in this video, I'm going to be talking specifically about the coordinator role, which is the person that once the job is won, that person sits in the office, looks at the schedule, looks at the crews that can do the work, looks at the requirements of the job, and then is like a puzzle or Tetris fitting in every single one of those jobs into the perfect person to do that job on your team, or whether you subcontract it out or do it internally. But that's what we're talking about here. How did we set this up? In our system, when a project is won, in the CRM, the sales rep finishes the sales to production handoff, which is an essential part of the process. And they pass the job from their CRM to Airtable. And Airtable is the beginning of the production management side of the business. By default, I have found that all coordinators love the Kanban view to just see at a high level, where are all of my projects at? So when a new project comes in, it goes directly into this new, I like to call it the inbox. And from here, you have to look at the job, see, okay, where's the job located? What else, like what other details do I have on the job? Maybe I'm going to open up the work order to check out the quote. So I like using Paint Scout. We link the quote directly into here so that the coordinator can quickly see the details on it. If I need to go back to HubSpot, I can click that and it's going to take me right back to the HubSpot deal where I sold it. I can open up the QuickBooks customer if you give your customer, or if you give your coordinator access to QuickBooks. But all the information is just a click away from here. So project comes in, it's in the new stage. I can now take that project and then I can send a deposit invoice directly from Airtable. So this is our invoicing little interface that we created. You've got your total job amount. If you have any outstanding invoices, so in this case, we've already invoiced the customer $89.50 and that is sent. It's not paid yet. But if I need to send a new invoice to them, I'm able to do that very, very easily here. And then the tasks. So right out of the gate, we have a few tasks that need to be completed. So I need to schedule the project. All right, I'm going to get that on the schedule. So I can come down here and pick the start and end date for the project. And the cool thing is here, so this is just to remember which one we're talking about, 2414. When I assign a lead to this project, so I'm going to pick a lead, I'm going to pick a manager, I'm going to pick a couple members who's going to work on the project. And now when I select the start date for this project, so we're going to go to November 4th, let's say. I'm going to say that this project is going to take probably 3 days. So it's automatically going to do 3 business days. If I were to do a duration of 10, it's going to do 10 business days. So weekends it will skip and it, correctly put in the end date for me. But now you can see that I automatically have my other tasks populating because my project is now scheduled and on the calendar, and there's other things that are going to need to happen. So all of this can be customized. You can choose exactly what tasks you want to have happen when and who's going to be assigned to those tasks. And then I can go back to the my main Kanban view here. And remember, all of these are the different stages of the various projects that I'm managing. In this view, I can say, I just want to see all of my exterior projects. So now I'm looking at just the exteriors. Maybe I want to see, oh, rain's coming up. Let's look at my interior projects only. And you can see that loads here. Here are all of my interior projects. If I want to see sales or if I want to see projects that were sold by a specific person, these are all of the jobs that Joseph sold. Or if I want to see someone else, here are all the jobs that Mark sold. But you can quickly filter and you can customize what filters you want to see. But here's where it gets really cool, because over here, they have different visualizations that you can use. So you can go in and switch to timeline view. And now I can see all of those same exact projects that were in the Kanban view. I can now see in timeline view, and I can scroll over. If you remember, I booked the project, the 2414 Telegraph project for November 4th to Jonathan, the lead on the project. And you can see here it is. Just like I did when I was in the Kanban view, I can open this up and I'm right back in the same place to see all the details of the project. So if I need to make any adjustments, I can there. But also from this view, I am able to if I need to adjust the project, let's say I need to move it over a little ways, or I want to shorten the project. So now it's going to be from November 11th to the 20th. Maybe I want to even move the project to a different person. So I'm going to have Gerardo do that now. All just by dragging it around, clicking, moving it around, I can open up the project and automatically it's all tied to the same thing. So my start and end dates have been updated. The lead on the project has switched to Gerardo. It's all in one place. So this is very cool. Sometimes people like looking at it in calendar view. Well, guess what? Here it is. We can look at the projects inside of calendar view. So now I'm looking at every single one. Maybe it's too overwhelming to look at it by month. So I'm just going to look at 2 weeks at a time, and I can see exactly what is happening where. If I want to find that specific project again, let's go over to November where I booked that one. And we'll see again that we have we did November. Here it is, the 2414, and I can see the project on the calendar for that time. So I can switch back and forth very easily. But again, the part that is so hard to convey to people is that inside of Airtable, you have the freedom to put whatever you want on any one of these cards. So if I want to see the total project amount or the hours, or maybe I want to see the address, sometimes people like to see the pictures of that. You can do any of that and customize what it is that you see on these cards. When I click into it, I can choose what I want to see here. And again, I'm just looking at it from the coordinator's perspective. So how do I optimize this from the coordinator's perspective? So if I switch over to the production lead view, I can go look at Victor Bautista, and I can see that if I look at all projects, I have the Telegraph project that I was just scheduling. And now my production lead, because I'm viewing this as if I were Victor, can only see the information that I want my production people to be able to see. So they're not going to see all the data and information that my coordinator sees. And also, if you have managers and you want them to see more gross profit details or the total cost of the project, you can do that too. That is a brief overview of the coordinator interface. If you've got questions or want to know what else can Airtable do for you, or if you are curious, can I build out something to tackle a given problem that you've got, don't hesitate to reach out. We got the links down in the description below. Yeah, this is Airtable. It's like $25 a month per user. You can usually get by with Airtable using 3 to 4 in your business. I recommend the business or the pro plan, which is I think $45 a month per user, some added features. But really, when you compare what it's capable of, in my opinion, this is just hands down the software that all painting companies need to be using, especially once you get closer to that 4 million or larger, We've got companies that are 15 million using Airtable and companies that are 3.5 million using Airtable. But once you break out of those all-in-ones, this is the place that you want to be managing your production. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.